happy New Year's. I know I'm late on that, but Happy New Year's. Here are some of the plants I have in bloom. Yes, my plants were just kind of sitting there, and I was making sure that my paths and frags were getting enough water, but I kind of was neglecting a few of my others. Anyways, what do we have here? We have my old trusty Fragopedium. This is one of my first frags, and she has bloomed for me before, but not like this time. Oh my gosh, I have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blooms, because there's a bud right here. She's just been busting out blooms for like a few months now. Sometimes 2 at a time, sometimes 1 at a time. Right now we got 2 at a time. One of them was deformed, so I've started making sure that I'm watering her more, because I think that maybe like not enough water causes deformed petals. It just kind of makes sense to me. But this is the first time I've ever had this plant bloom so much. It's so awesome. But it's also the first time it's bloomed since really adding cow. I wasn't really using much of this, and now I use a bit more. I have switched up my fertilizers. I think that might have helped get me these beautiful blooms, but also the plant has been with me for a few years, so she's also kind of settled in and much more mature, so that could be another reason. Other plants, well, we have a Cattleya in bloom. I literally tried to kill this plant over the summer. I gave up on her. I took her out. God, towards the end of the summer, I took this plant out, bare root, just sat it in the south-facing area of my deck, and just let it dry and shrivel. It got dry and shrivelly. It fell on the ground. I literally was going to throw this in the trash. And then I noticed it sent out a new growth. And so I said, wow, after all that abuse, the cold, the hot, just being totally neglected, you want to live. And it said thank you. It sent out blooms. These blooms have been they just opened a few days ago, and I stopped neglecting this plant in September, but all summer it was literally on the verge of the trash can. I actually had it just sitting with no root, nothing around its roots, thrown askew in a pot in the hot sun. There's some damage right there. I don't know. But anyways, it's in bloom. Really excited. Cattleyas. I thought you didn't like me, but turns out you love me. They like a bit of abuse, I guess. And then we have a Miltoniopsis in bloom. She's been in bloom for a while now. This one's become one of my favorites. I have another one that's like this bright, deep red with cool pattern, which is another favorite, and it smells really good. It has a huge flower. This one I like because it has a smaller, more average-sized flower, and the colors are just beautiful. It looks kind of like a watercolor. And it's a trusty bloomer, and it smells good. It went into spike only a few months after being divided and repotted. Kind of aggressively divided, I will add. So, pretty excited about that. But this one, stay tuned, because I have a lot to say about this one. First of all, it's an Encyclia Garciana, and I'm going to do a spotlight video on it. So, stay tuned for that. Really excited that I have so many blooms on this. I'll talk more about it later, because I'm going to talk about it. Anyways, I'm going to get back to watering. I'm trying a new way of watering where I'm using my sink, but I have to manually take all my plants over. But then that gives me time to inspect them better and see what is going on, because I have been getting black tips on here. When they're in the other room, I don't really inspect them. The lighting's not that good. But in here, I can take a better look and examine them. And I'm also wiping the leaves down, because in that, I call it my hobby room, my messy hobby room, in that room I have chinchillas, and chinchillas take dust baths, and yes, dust gets on the plants. So I'm doing a little leaf cleaning as well. So stay tuned for a spotlight video on the Encyclia Garciana, and I will continue my watering. Thanks for watching. Happy growing.